Okay, now here's the thing. When I was in school, a couple of years ago, I would always be late. Always. Now here's the thing. I live right next to the fucking school, so there was actually no reason why I should have been late. Ever. But, here's my question. Why does it matter if you're late or not to school? I mean, as long as, first period hasn't started yet, then that's whatever. Because the thing about it is, homeroom, I don't really consider to be a part of the school day, even though it is. You get to your homeroom, but it's like what, 10 minutes or so? In my case, it was like around 10 minutes or so. And the bell would ring, we'd go to first period, 45 minutes, second period, 45 more minutes, third period, fourth period, so on and so forth. Until, the school day ended. Unless we were doing something like track, and, we would stay after school for that. But, as long as you're at school and you show up, period. If you show up at all throughout the school day, why does it matter if you're late? Just be fucking glad I'm there. I could have chose to fucking sleep in, or play video games all day, but I didn't. I went to school, whether or not I wanted to. So I feel like more schools should be happy that you're there at all. And honestly, a whole bunch of students aren't going to follow the whole, you have to be in the building by 7:40. 7:40? Are you fucking kidding me? You don't do shit! You don't fucking do shit at 7:40. Most of us just sat in the gym and waited until homeroom, and once we got to homeroom, we waited for 10 more minutes, and around 7:50 or 8 o'clock or something is when we actually officially started school. So, yeah, basically my theory is you'd have until 8 o'clock to actually get to school before you miss out on the first period or whatever. So basically, 8 o'clock until you miss out on school. But you can show up at any time. 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, whatever. So again, my question is, why do schools push this, expectation that every single student has to be on time? I always thought it was stupid. Then again, I thought school itself was kind of stupid. Because schools, they never really teach you what you need to know. Yes, math, they teach you that, and reading to a certain extent. But things like science and history, unless you're going to work for NASA, or you're going to be a historian or something like that, work in a museum or a history teacher, there's no need for history. There's no need for science. And, you could argue that history, you teach people about history, and you're supposed to prevent same events from happening again by teaching it in class. But, you do realize that it's going to happen eventually anyway, whether you teach it in school or not. War will still happen. Tyranny will still happen. Revolutions will still happen. It doesn't matter. Things will still happen regardless of whether or not, you have history class. Meanwhile, classes that I think are the most important, like taxes, okay. Home ec classes, the cooking classes and the sewing classes and things like that. Those are important. We had child development, which was important if we ever decide to have kids and get married and have sex and whatnot. We didn't even have sex ed. We did not have sex ed at our school. Now, most of us, we found out about sex by watching Pornhub. We fucking watched Pornhub, X videos, and things like that. We watched porn. That's how we found out about what porn is. and what sex is. Nobody at school taught us. And we only learned the very bare minimum. Like, this is the bare minimum. Well, maybe even smaller than that. Like, if I can really, yeah. Bare minimum, right here. Fucking bare minimum of what we learned. We learned that you should use a condom for unprotected sex in health class. That's all we learned. We didn't learn about bondage or BDSM. We didn't learn about, ways to have sex. We didn't learn what sex actually was. We didn't have sex ed at all. We didn't have any of that education. Because a lot of schools, they seem to think that sex ed is not important. But you got a bunch of teenagers having sex and fucking teen pregnancies up the ass. And you got kids that have to deal with parenthood and school, and education at the same time. And it's a fucking catastrophe of bullshit. But anyways, so we had, cooking classes, and we somewhat learned how to, finance things. We learned about banking. We learned a little bit about, buying a house and a car and things like that. Things that people, students actually need. Things that we need to learn. Finding a job. Things that we need to learn. Because most people, once they get out of high school, they go somewhere else. They move, or they do something else, and they aren't... Basically, their first step is to get a house, or something like that. But how do you go about doing that? Nobody actually teaches you these things. And, the classes that do teach you these things are slowly fading away. These classes, they don't actually teach you what you need to know. And if they do, it's the bare minimum. I can't tell you the first thing about taxes, or how to do them, because nobody actually taught me about that shit. And if I did learn something about it, I completely forgot about it. A minute or two after class, I forgot all about it. I can't tell you the first thing about banking, or how to properly raise a child, or how to have kids in general. Like, I can't tell you that. I know the simple oh baby, fuck me harder. And then, like, only if you're not wearing a condom. You wait a couple months, assuming that, your girlfriend or wife or whoever you're fucking is able to have kids, because there's the chromosomes, and some chromosomes you can't have kids, and it's a big fucking... Because, like, science mixes with, a little bit of sex ed in there, just a tiny bit, but not enough to actually make a difference. It crosses over, and schools don't really teach you these things. You're left on your own to find things. You are left on your own to find out what porn is. Find out what sex is. How to have sex. How to do this or that. You're left on your own. And when you try to ask for help, or, you try to make some, some suggestions to the school board and whatnot, they look at you like you're fucking nuts. The sex ed? Nah, we don't need that shit. Oh! The home economic classes where you actually need to learn how to cook and finance things and whatever? Nah, let's get rid of that. And also, I've noticed classes that are fun, like art and music, they're going away too. Nowadays, with the internet being as big as it is, art and music are two of the biggest things that should still be in school. Maybe it shouldn't be a required class, but it still needs to be there. Because a lot of people, they're creative. They expose themselves, with art and music, and they express themselves in different ways. And, with the internet being as big as it is, they have a shot at being something when they leave high school, or maybe when they're still in high school. They can learn music and things like that. Like, it's just sad that schools don't give a piss about children. Now that's the thing. Schools don't fucking care about kids, right? Or their education. They only do the bare minimum. It's like, oh yeah, we need to learn history, science, whatever. But you don't think about why you need to learn science or history. Because actually you don't really need to learn those things. In all honesty. Because, I mean, unless you're gonna be a historian or a history teacher or something like that, then yes, you will need to learn some history. And same as science, if you want to work at NASA or some, pharmaceutical company, you need to know a thing or two about science and how things work around there. But they're not all that required, at least in my opinion. And now, okay, let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a fair question. So, music and art, they are not required classes to graduate. Basically, you can take them as extra credit or for fun or whatever. But gym, taking gym class, that is credit. You have to have gym credit in order to graduate. At least that's what I had to do. Why? Why do I need to fucking do gym class? I'm not gonna be a fucking track athlete. I'm not gonna be a football star or baseball star because I don't give a fuck about sports. I don't care about sports. That's the least thing. That's the least of the things I want to do when I'm at school. I mean, doing track, yeah, I did that because I like running and I liked hanging out with my friends and whatnot at the time. But I don't see the whole point. And also, that's like, I think 0.5% of your credit. So like you get like 0.5 or something. It's not a whole lot of credit. So why do you need to learn how to get active? I mean, I can eat this Hot Pocket right now. And then after I'm done, I can go outside, I can run. I can run as fucking, that's all you need to know how to do. If they want you to be active, just fucking give them, some DDR or something like that. Give them the option to, give them the option, whether or not they want to do gym class. And it also doesn't help that when I was a fucking junior or senior, there was a, the fucking gym teacher that was in high school. He was a goddamn fucking pervert and a pedophile, I think. There are countless stories going around the school that this guy, he ended up basically watching the women undress and change clothes, and he would, while the girls were away doing whatever, he would go into their locker room and smell their clothes and things like, basically doing some real creep shit right there. Like, I don't know about you, but I don't want to be in a fucking gym class with someone like that. And it wasn't just the girls he was attracted to as well. He was attracted to the guys as well. He, also would, just make some weird sexual remarks to them as well. And it was weird. I never really saw it happen myself. It was just hearsay, rumors, but, with as much rumors going around, and a lot more people are, and some of the teachers are kind of saying the same thing, it makes you wonder, why was he hired? I mean, it makes no sense, right? But anyways, I digress. So, basically, gym class you have to graduate. At least where I went to school. But music class and art class, well, art class doesn't really exist anymore in a lot of schools. Not even where we were at. We haven't had fucking art class since, like, 4th or 5th grade. They shut that shit down when the teacher left. I mean, the teacher was a complete fucking asshole, and, she deserves to fucking no longer be a teacher, let alone a parent or anything like that, because she was fucking horrible. But, like, you couldn't have found anybody else to do art class. It's like when she left, the art teacher left, it's like, oh, well, I guess there's no more art program. They shut that down. That was the first go. And then it's like, what the fuck? You know, schools don't care about the fucking children. Schools don't care about what they want. You know, what the kids want. Now, along with other people, when I went to school, we all had, you know, us gamers, we had given people ideas. We gave them, you know, the student, or not you know, well, not only student council, you know, we gave the school board some ideas. We're like, okay. Here's what I think we need here at this school. You know how there's a bunch of computers in the computer lab? Well, why not teach students how to build computers? How to make their own computer, what parts go where, blah blah blah, you know, make your own computer, right? Or, you know, some software, how to make programs, how to make applications. Because one of the schools in our district had that, you know, in our area had that. So it's not like it couldn't have been a thing. So, like, and they always say, oh, it's because there's no interest in these things. Yeah, there is. You got a whole bunch of people over here, myself included, telling you, hey, you know, we want these programs. We want these, you know, either for extra credit or maybe after school or something. We want this to be a thing. We want this to be in school and have the opportunity to learn. And then, basically, they just fucking told us to watch YouTube videos. I'm like, wow, thanks a lot, dumbass. Honestly, schools don't really care about what the kids want. You know, the kids want to try to do something with their lives that don't involve history or math or whatever. You know, they want to be a YouTuber like me. And also, here's the thing. Schools, again, don't care about what you want to be. I told some of the people that, you know, I went to school with and some of the teachers, I told them, hey, I want to be a YouTuber. And, you know, I want to make videos for people. And maybe I can be a celebrity YouTuber and get paid for making YouTube videos. And they all just fucking laughed at me. They're like, ha! You think you could be a YouTuber? You're a useless nobody. Nobody would ever want to watch you. And they were right. You know, nobody wants to fucking watch me. Except almost 600 people. You know, but I mean, that's not enough to really do anything with, and I know that. But, you know, like, you know, teachers don't fucking care. You know, they don't. You know, you have an idea to be either a video game designer or whatever. Anything that they... Okay, basically, if you want to be someone, like an Instagram model or a Twitter influencer or whatever, a YouTuber that gets paid and whatever, or a Twitch streamer, if you want to be one of those things, yeah, fuck you. You're not gonna succeed. And we're not gonna tell you how, because that would be a waste of time. And you're a complete moron for thinking that. You know, for thinking that you could be someone on the internet. Well, as big as the fucking internet is, I don't see you being, you know, popular. I don't see you actually giving a piss. Oh wait, you don't give a piss. Because, like, a lot of teachers, they don't fucking care. And we need more teachers in schools to care. Now, I think schools are outdated and they shouldn't exist anymore. Because schools, you don't fucking really learn anything. And the things that you do learn in school, when you're out of school, you know, you graduate, whatever, unless if it's a subject you're really interested in, like for me it was history, unless it was something you're extremely interested in, you're going to forget about everything you learned. That's a sad fact. You're going to forget about a lot of things because you just don't care about it. Like, I can't tell you the first thing about X and Y in math. I don't know anything about isosceles triangles and acute triangles and Romulans and whatever the fuck. I don't even know. But I can't even tell you anything about science except that we were made from scientific shit. And, with English, I can't tell you where periods go. I know they go at the end of a sentence, but, like, the English language is forever changing. And it's weird. It makes no sense. But, like, schools really don't care about anything that you have to say. And I think it's stupid that that's the case. But it is. And I don't get it. I don't understand why schools have that mentality. That, oh yeah, a kid wants to be a fucking YouTuber. Let's laugh at them, make fun of them for it. Like, come on. And also, here's another thing. When you try to ask for help, and here's the best part about what happened when I went to school. You try to ask for help. You try to ask, the special ed teachers for help and whatever. Because I had a, what was it? I had a thing where, basically during tests you can have extra time, and things like that. Yeah, whatever. And, I tried to, they always said I was failing in certain classes and, C's and D's weren't good. Well, at least it's not a fucking F, first and foremost. But secondly, they try to tell you something like, okay, you need to ask us for help if you're having trouble with anything. Okay, fine. So I did that. And guess what? They didn't do shit. Teachers, they overlooked me. They were helping everybody else but me. They didn't really say why they did it. But my best guess is that they didn't see anything at all in me. They didn't see any potential. They didn't see any reason to help me. I'm like, okay, well, if you're not gonna help me, then stop bitching about me having low grades. I tried to ask you for help, but you're not gonna fucking do shit. Okay? Now, I'm the one that's trying to put in some effort. And you're failing me. You're letting me down. So, at the end of the day, my failure is your fault. Because I'm asking for help and you're not doing a damn thing about it. And that's the sad thing. Like, teachers, and I get it. You got a whole class, 20, 30 kids. They can't get around to everybody. But when you're in a tiny class of, well, I guess you could say special ed, whatever. Or, well, maybe not really special ed, but like, I forgot whatever it was called. But you have like 5 or 6 kids. You had me and some other, students. You're telling me you couldn't help every single one of us, either at once or individually. Like, I get it if you're busy. That's fine. But when you're busy with someone else and you're done with them, come see me. Because I'm asking for help. And that's what I don't understand. These people that, and then they have the fucking goddamn balls and ovaries to blame me for my failures when I've been asking for help for a while, and, they could argue, oh, no, you never asked for help. Okay, fine. If what we're going by what you're saying, which is not right, by the way, because I was asking for help, then what was I doing? Because I remember, it's like, I'm asking for help, right? And that's what I remember. I don't know what the hell kind of drugs you're on. But if I ask for help, I expect you to help me. And especially if you're a teacher, or if you're someone in that field where you're supposed to help a student if they need it. And if they're asking for it. Which I was both. Now, when they had nothing better to do, then they helped me. I didn't ask. And this is why I don't ask for help during anything. Building a computer, I'm not going to ask for help from people. If I'm in college at some point in my life, if I ever go to college, and whatever, I'm not going to ask for help there because, like, what's the fucking point? What's the point in asking for help when nobody is going to help you? And they're gonna blame their failures on your lack of trying and the fact that you never asked for help when you did. Like, what the fuck? And that's why I never really did well in school. And honestly, I didn't really care about grades to begin with, as long as I didn't fail. As long as I did the bare minimum. And I did not receive an F. That's all I cared about. I didn't care about being a grade A student. I didn't care about being the best. I didn't care about being the best in my class or being the best in show or whatever. I didn't fucking care. I just wanted to get in, get out. You know, get into school and do what I had to do, and then get out. You know, school sucks. And there were many times I was like, you know what, okay, no one's helping me. No one fucking cares about what I want to do in life. They're not helping me with that. They're not helping me learn. They're pushing every student to take... Okay, here's the thing. Kids learn differently on certain things. So they learn by different means. Some people learn visually by writing it on the board. Some learn via typing it in on the computer or writing it down by taking notes and things like that. Some learn, you know, verbally. Oh, yes, X and Y does this with the A's and the B's and blah, blah, blah. You know, whatever math terms there are. Like, kids learn differently in different circumstances and scenarios. Yet, they had everybody do the exact same thing. Take notes. Write that fucking shit down. Because their mentality was, oh, if you write it down, you're automatically going to remember it. Yeah, you're going to remember it. Until you go to your next fucking class, then you're going to forget about most of it, and then by the time you get home, you're going to forget everything you just fucking learned. Like, what the fuck? Schools need to change. Schools need to fucking, you know, they need to realize that their way of teaching children is wrong. It's not right. If kids ask for help, you damn well fucking help them. And you know, if you don't help them, do not blame their failure on their, you know, lack of wanting to give a shit. Blame it on the fact that you failed as a, you know, mentor, as a teacher, as, you know, what you're supposed to be doing. And, you know, take some fucking responsibility for once and actually help the students that need the help. Now, I get it if there are some students that don't actually need help. You know, they're doing fine on their own. But I wasn't one of those. Honestly, I didn't really care. But, like, I was one of those students that, honestly, I didn't care. I didn't fucking care. But, you know, they wanted me to ask for help when I needed it. And so I did. And no one helped me. Until, you know, they saw my grades were dropping. They're like, oh, maybe we should help him. Yeah, when I've been asking you for the past 2 or 3 fucking days, maybe even weeks or so, now you decide to do something? What the fuck? I mean, the only reason I can come up with as to why they did this was they didn't want to put up with my bullshit for another fucking year. They didn't want to put up with my bullshit any longer than they already had to. So it was like, yeah, okay, I guess we'll help him, only because we don't want to fucking see him for any longer than we have to. You know, school sucked. School is bad. Now, just like, there are some good police officers and sheriffs out in the world, there are good teachers that they will help you if you need them to do so, and things like that. I had one or two teachers actually give a piss about everybody in that classroom. Even if those kids were being assholes, they still gave a fuck about them. And they helped them if they needed it the most. And they helped them when, when they needed it or wanted it. And also another thing is like, teachers will often say this, ask us for help if you don't understand something. And so you ask them what something means, and then they basically yell at you, and they're like, yeah, get with the fucking program. Like, if you can't, get with the program, what the fuck are you even doing here? Like, I've had that happen before. My freshman year, I tried to do algebra or some sort of math. By the time I finally understood what was going on in, like, the first chapter, let's say chapter 1, they were all the way to, like, chapter 3 or 4. And I'm like, okay, you know what? No. I just finished chapter 1, and you want me to remember chapter 2, 3, 4, when I wasn't paying attention on that, I was paying attention on chapter 1. The fuck? Yeah, it was horrible. But anyways, guys and gals, this video went on longer than I wanted to, and I made a rant, I guess, when I didn't really mean to. But fuck it. I don't care. Anyways, guys and gals, that's gonna be it for this video. As always, I will see you all in the next video. Peace out, people, and bro hoof.